Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to talk about pretty much the internet famous Firea luxury concealer. So I got 3 shades here. I got neutral beige, medium, and sand, which is the new color. It comes in 8 shades. This can be used as concealer or foundation. It is targeted for women over 40. It's meant for mature skin. Each one of these costs $39.97, but you can buy 2 get 1 free, and that makes them like $25 each. I did also pick up the bok choy facial treatment here, and I did pick up their eye cream as well. I'm gonna just start with these products were, the eye treatment was $44.97. The face treatment is $47. They do kind of a flash thing when you buy stuff. I bought from them directly. I'll be honest, I'm not crazy about the skincare. It all feels very like silicone-y and cloggy to me, and I don't like that. I do still suffer from acne, so those are going to be a big pass for me, but we are going to go over the concealers. I'll do some swatches so you can kind of see the colors as well. This is all over Instagram. Of course, Instagram made me do it. I have to try it. I am on the hunt for the best concealer I can possibly find, but I will also wear this today as a foundation for those who were interested in it as a foundation as well. I like that concept as a dual purpose product. You're getting 15 mLs or 0.5 fluid ounces, which is actually quite a lot of product in these. It also helps dark circles, brightens, helps with lines, wrinkles, has hyaluronic acid, collagen, and peptides. And one more time, comes in 8 colors. The newest color is sand. I have all my skincare on like I always do. Oh, also too, when you order it, it does come with this little brush. I'm not crazy about the brush, but it is a nice gesture. They also have a really great return exchange policy. They want people to be happy. I have yet to test that out because I want to review it first myself before I make a solid decision on whether I'm keeping it or not. But I did want you guys to know that that is something that they do offer. Swatched here. I'm going to get real close so you guys can see. The first color right here is going to be neutral beige. And then the second color is medium. And then the last color is this new color called sand. As you can tell, these are super glowy products and pretty thick too. As you can see, they're not smearing or falling down my hand at all. I'm going to go in, I'm going to mix, I think, the shades to make my foundation shade because first off, I don't like to waste product, number 1, and then number 2, I just think it will be easier. It is a product that working it, like heating up the product is important, but I am going to start with the Sephora number 70 brush. I'm going to go into medium and sand and kind of mix those together here. I'm going to use my palette. I'm going to use my hand as my palette and kind of go from there and see what kind of match I can get. I feel like this will probably work the best. So right off the bat, the coverage is really glowy, like super glowy. So if glowy is not your jam, not for you. So I'm gonna spread that out as much as I can. I'm gonna do a couple more dots on the back of my hand just because I need a little more coverage. Again, I'm mixing sand and medium because I just think that is the closest to my skin tone shade. And I will be doing neutral beige as my concealer shade. Again, I'm just mixing it and working it on the back of my hand. You could use a, you know, a paw palette or something to mix if that's more your jam. The back of my hand works just fine for me. I have no issues with that. So I am trying to build up the coverage just because this is a little sheer for me and I am experiencing some breakouts. I will still set this. I'm debating if I need to set it with like a foundation powder just because it is a little thick on the face. But it is giving pretty coverage, like it's really beautiful looking. But yeah. Gonna do a little more up here on my forehead. I don't like to do a lot of product on my forehead just because it tends to get cakey usually. So we're just gonna kind of buff that in. So as you can see, it's giving really great coverage. And I mean, I am just glowing out of the sockets, people, just glowing. I'm not sure if this is something that is my favorite dry down personally, but I think once I powder it, it will work better. There we go. Adding a little more coverage where I need it. This is about 3 dots of product. You do not have to use this much product, but I do want to see how it's going to look when we set it and see if it's going to be cakey or not. But it is glowy, glowy, glowy. If glowy is not your jam, this is not for you. Typically, more mature women start to lose that natural luster that they have in their skin. So if you're looking for glowy, you might really like this. I do think it's pretty. It's just not something I'm typically... I don't typically wear glowy, but it is still beautiful on the skin. I'm okay with this coverage. I may still do like a powder foundation on top, just maybe the Lauren Geller one, something with lighter coverage, just because I don't think it's enough. So then I still have that dot of that concealer, the neutral beige. I'm going to warm it up here on the back of my hand. I do think it's important to really use this product worked up like this. Otherwise, you're not going to get a lot of coverage. I'm using everything today with a brush because I want you guys just to see how it works, because this is kind of how they recommend to use it. I typically prefer to use my ring finger, which I may still use here to kind of blend everything out. As you can see, it's a really pretty concealer. It doesn't have as much coverage as I like, and I'm only blending it completely out all over my eye, which typically I don't do. Because I'm wearing a liquid too. So I just need it to blend and look real pretty. But this is with no color corrector. I do think it needs probably a color corrector. That's just my opinion though. I do think for my skin type, which is like a light to medium, the neutral beige is a great color for your under eye. I think the other 2 colors are too dark for the under eye, better suited for foundation. So if you're darker than me, that kind of helps you figure out what shade. I will say, yes, there's only 8 shades, so that's kind of a negative, but it's pretty easy to figure out what shade you're gonna be. If you're lighter than me, definitely need to go with the lighter shade that they have. I think neutral beige is kind of the second shade, if I remember correctly, on their webpage. So I'm good with this amount of coverage. I'm still kind of working it in, making sure it looks as pretty as it possibly can on my face. I look super glowy. So this is what the product looks like if you do not set it. All right. I'm going to set this. I've got a lot of different setting powders that I'm working with right now and testing out. So I'm not really going to talk about that because that's not super important or helpful to what we're doing. But I'm using a banana shade, and this is from Dermablend. I am using my trusty e.l.f. triangle powder puff. If you guys haven't picked up the e.l.f. one, you guys really need to. It's $4 and he feels so luxurious and puffy and really nice, and they're washable as well. The Amazon ones to me are just I don't know, they're garbage. Like, yeah, you get 10 of them, but it's like they're just worthless. So that's just my opinion. If you're looking for a new powder puff, I would definitely go with the e.l.f. ones. $4, you can't beat it. It's so good. Then I just work the powder on the back of my hand before I go to set my under eye. Grabbing my handy mirror here so I can see what I'm doing. So this is a product that, in my opinion, needs to be set. Because I'm setting it, you will get a little bit of more of a natural to a matte finish. See how much difference that looks? Not set, set. It is pretty. I will be honest, I did experience some creasing under my eye when I was testing this throughout. This is the first time I'm wearing it as a foundation, just because typically a liquid or cream product is not my jam on my face, but I want you guys to see it. So again, set, not set. I think the finish is absolutely beautiful under the eye. If you can get away with not setting it, then don't. But I am just not one of those people. Everything must be set on me regardless. That's just how it works for me. I'm really enjoying this setting powder as well. If you guys are not using the Derma Blend setting powder, this is the banana one. I love a really bright under eye. I will be honest, this concealer, after using it several times, I wish it had just a little more coverage. I get that they're focused on more of that like dewy, glowy, youthful, like lit from within sort of thing for their finish. However, for me, I would have appreciated it being a little more coverage. Granted, I could get that coverage by going in with a color corrector, but I feel like the product works best if it's not layered. That is my personal opinion on how I feel about it. So I'm gonna get a little closer for you guys. I'm trying to see if you guys can see what I'm seeing here. So it is still accentuating my under eye lines, but as of right now, it's not creeping in them. So that is important to mention. All right, so now we've got to set the rest of the face. I am gonna set the rest of my face with my Forever Puff. And I will do, I think I'm gonna use my Hourglass. So yeah, my translucent Hourglass to set it. And then I think I am still gonna go in with a powder foundation on top. So I'm gonna hop in with that puff, work it into the top there, pack it back on the back of my hand, and just kind of set this. Again, if you guys like this foundation without powder, more power to you, but I just look like, I mean, look at this, just one side of my face. So no setting on the foundation, setting foundation concealer. I mean, it literally is night and day in the finish. So it just depends on what you want. That's neither good nor bad. I just don't particularly like to look shiny. I like skin-like. Once you set it, it still looks skin-like. It's just not super glowy and dewy. Which is kind of what the finish of this particular product is, glowy and dewy. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's how you like it. But, you know, I have to have my makeup on for long periods of time. I'm going to get natural glow peeking through. I know most women, as they age, that's something that kind of goes away. So they might like this beautiful glowy finish. For me, it's pretty and I like it, but I just can't leave it unset. That's for me. So again, with this amount of coverage, this is pretty, if you like this for an everyday look, you could totally get away with this. I am still going to do a little powder foundation on top. I am going to go with the Baked Balance and Brilliant powder foundation from Lauren Geller on top of this with my kabuki brush, my Bare Minerals kabuki brush, just because I need a little more coverage. This is a very beautiful powder foundation. It just gives a little more coverage, just a little bit, and that's just my personal preference. You do not have to do all of these steps. This is just how I like my face to look. Because it has this marbling, it's also doing any extra color correcting I might need. I do have some breakouts and some extra fun, no fun pigmentation right now. Typically, I don't show you guys me doing all of these steps, but I do think it's important to try to show you as many as I can. Once I set this, I will do the rest of my makeup and then I will come back with my thoughts. All right, guys, with the magic of YouTube, all my makeup is on. I am set. I already did makeup setting spray. I have some thoughts about the Firea Advanced Cosmetics Luxury Concealer with hyaluronic acid and collagen. So this is a foundation concealer product. Let's start off by, I don't like any of the skincare products. Don't buy those. Those are not good. Those are crap. As nice as it is that they give you a brush, not going to use this. That's just my personal preference. I just don't think it is the best for foundation, and it's a little too big for concealer. Just my opinion. Now, I prefer more of like a round flat top, something that's going to give me more coverage and more of that blended out airbrushed look. So back to the concealer foundation. I am wearing it as a concealer and I am wearing it as a foundation. I have all three colors on. I mixed sand and medium as my foundation color, which you can see actually looks pretty good. Kind of a, you know, paint by numbers, make your own color sort of thing, but this works actually quite well for me. Medium is more pink undertoned and sand is definitely more of that yellow undertone. So mixed together made almost a perfect shade for me. I'm a neutral undertone, so that works. Now, about how the finish is. The finish is very shiny, glowy, dewy, almost luminously wet looking if you do not set it. I set this pretty good and I am still glowing. I still look glowy from within. It is beautiful. It's a really pretty finish. I definitely can see why more mature women would be interested in this product and like this product. However, for me, it does have a little bit of a heavy feel on the skin. A little bit of that, like back in the day, what I used to call like grease paint makeup, and it doesn't feel bad once it's set and powdered. It feels pretty comfortable but when I initially put it on, it is just a little bit thicker than I would like my products to be. It can be probably really sheared out or worked up. I did only like 3 dots of product, so you get a lot of value for your money. These are going to last forever and ever. So I do like that about the product. I just don't love a cream or liquid type of products. It always makes my skin look a little older, a little textured, even though this is glowing. So it's kind of hiding some of that. You can see a lot of the texture all through here on my face, where it looks like I have makeup on. I don't like to look like I have makeup, excessive amounts of makeup on. Yes, I did set this with 2 powders because I have to, or otherwise it's literally gonna melt just right off my face, because that is my skin type. I have combination skin. I will melt this off if I did not set it. So I did a translucent powder and then I did the lightest foundation powder I could find, like lightweight, just to dust over and give me a little more coverage in areas that I have problems, which is right here. So with that being said, I think it's a great product. I definitely think people love this and like this, and I get why. It's just not going to be a product for me as far as a foundation. I originally bought it as a concealer, so these 2 colors are basically obsolete. I can't use them as concealer. They're not brightening enough. So let's talk about the natural beige. I do have that under my eyes. I'll get really close here so you guys can see. It is settling and creasing ever so slightly. I've only had it on for a little bit now, but I did set it with a translucent powder, so it should stay in place without getting too slippity sloppity. It's a good concealer. I don't know if it's going to be my holy grail concealer just because I am still creasing under the eye. I think if you're someone who can get away with wearing this without setting it, I think you will like it better. I'm one of those people, no matter what I do, because I wear powder foundation every single day, I have to set my concealer. That's a non-negotiable. Also too, with my skin type being, you know, combo oily, acne prone, I must set my concealer. So it doesn't look terrible under the eye. It actually looks pretty good considering how many concealers I've tried lately. I definitely would recommend trying this. My only negative is you have to order it online, which I hate, and the color range is a little off. There's only 8 shades. And it is a thicker concealer. It reminds me of back in the day, if you guys remember Amazing Cosmetics, this reminds me a lot of that. Has a little stick, has a little tack. I will say this is glowier than those products. It also reminds me of the It Cosmetics concealer as well that has like a stick tack to it. So this is a little thicker, a little tackier. You definitely have to warm it up if you're going to use it, because if you don't, it's going to look like a hot mess and just look like you spackled all over your face. So warming up the product is really important before you put it on. I think it's really pretty. I'm going to give it a go. I just don't know if it's going to be my holy grail concealer until I've used it for much longer. I know a lot of people who have used this concealer feel like it took a solid year before they felt like it really was their holy grail concealer and that it was everything they wanted it to be. It's using the product, figuring out what works best for you, and just kind of, you know, the learning curve, right? For me, it's a thicker consistency than I normally go with, but I'm okay with that. I think the hardest part about this concealer is it doesn't fully cover my dark circles. I do have a brightening powder and I set it, so it's helping, but I still have all this darkness under here, and I would need to probably use a color corrector with it. If I use a color corrector with this, they're two different types of texture, and I have tested it with a color corrector and I still felt like it just wasn't giving me quite enough, and I don't want to do 2 layers of this. It will be too thick, too heavy for my particular under eye. Now if you're somebody who doesn't need to set it, it would probably work for you because you could do 2 layers and it's going to be fine. I think it's a really good concealer. I just don't know if it's for me long term. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. I am looking for the best concealer possible. I do love that they market this towards more mature women. The price point, I think, for what you're getting is reasonable, and it's accessible, right? You can go directly to their site or Amazon as well, so it is out there. I just don't know if it's the end all be all. It's a nice concealer. I would say it's moderate. I would use it. I just don't know if I would buy it again. So that is my thoughts about the Firea Cosmetics. Maybe I will do an updated video in the future about how I feel about this compared to my other concealers, because I do plan on keeping it in rotation just because it did well enough for me. I just don't know if it's a forever thing, but you guys will find that out probably in a future video. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I post a new video every Tuesday, and the description box will always be my Instagram for daily posts, and I will catch you guys on the next one.